Welcome to the Retail Tomorrow Learning Track, XRC Labs, Innovation in Health and Wellness. I'm Patrick Spear, President and CEO of GMDC Retail Tomorrow, and I'm joined today by Pano Anthos, Founder and Managing Director of XRC Labs, a New York City-based accelerator in the retail tech and CPG sectors. Welcome, Pano. Thanks for joining us for what promises to be a great session. What's XRC and what do you have in store for us today?
Well, the health and wellness sector has grown dramatically in the last few years and is taking an enormous amount of spend from other sectors. And we've been active investors in this category for now years and are seeing some real fruit come forward as a result of that. And we're seeing that brands and retailers understand that the consumer is leading the charge, that they need to be very, very agile and responsive to those changing needs.
That's fantastic. I think I go back, I think was it 2 years ago, maybe in the fall? You guys were at NYU doing a demo day and for one of your cohorts. And I remember the first time I had been introduced to XRC was at one of those events. And I know we've been talking to you and your team for a while. Thank you for joining us, by the way, on our last Retail Tomorrow series with our Future Facing 5. But I just think there's so much excitement in your space, what you guys are doing, and we wanted to introduce it to our members, to our conference attendees. So I'm grateful for you making time. We're going to hear from some of your startups today, correct?
Correct.
And are these from recent cohorts? Are these companies you've been working with for a while? Tell me a little bit.
They're across
your process.
Cohorts. They're about a year and a half to 2 years worth of cohorts that we've kind of picked for this presentation. There's so many different variables that go into obviously what the consumer want from the vantage point of what they're driving. So this is a good cross section. We've got many more, and we probably had more than you could possibly take on at one time. So we'll be happy to work with these. Yeah,
we could probably fill a whole day with pitches and hearing from the founders and the innovators, right?
Yeah, and you don't even want to know about the backlog of startups and founders that have approached us about this whole platform. So. We're very excited that we think we've really unlocked a way for brands, large consumer brands, to acquire, get close to, and foster growth with these startups that are really building customer value as opposed to a technology platform. So these are brands that really are going to be accretive to the overall business.
So a couple of questions, because I mentioned in the process. How do you guys source, or how do these innovators and founders find you? And then when you're thinking about it, you're obviously looking for specific things and, maybe it is around consumer value or that type of thing, but tell me a little bit about the process.
Well, we have points of view that are investment themes, what we're very clear about that, by the way, we socialize and learn from with a number of corporate relationships that we have that cross CPG, prestige beauty, discount retail. It's a wide range of hard goods. And we've been developing this point of view over the last 5 years and have been pretty predictive about things like live streaming. So we were an investor 5 years ago in live streaming, way before live streaming became like the poster child. Yeah. And we've been investing in the consumerization of healthcare for 4 years, way before telemedicine, became its thing, or the idea that consumers should own more of their healthcare solutions. So consequently, we get the word out, and we have a great mentor network. We probably have 6,000 or 7,000 people that are out there working with us on various capacities. And so we get a ton of inbound, ridiculous now. It used to be very much we would be outbound. Now it's mostly inbound. We've had some success in the market. It's P&G, kind of has acquired Billy, or it's through his final processes. It's been a definitive agreement and publicized. So that kind of like storytelling is quite large. And gets a lot of consumer brands super interested in what is it that we do that might be different. And then just, again, the consumer trend is what it is. And corporates are stepping up and realizing they cannot just, stay the course and ride old brands into oblivion, right? They've got to refresh and rethink. And one of our corporate CVS has completely overturned their stores. The front of store now is all about health hubs and wellness and next generation services. We're now opening up services for them. So there's a lot of work we do to kind of be on the forefront, and we source whether it's a startup of our own or it's a startup from the outside that we think corporates really could be benefit from.
That's fantastic. And, I was really excited to put this together with you and the team. And I think this is honestly, what I envision is the first of many conversations like this. And and demo days like this, where we think of it as almost a startup showcase. The fact that you guys are plugged in and you have corporates that you work with, and it aligns quite nicely with our conference, with our virtual GM conference and self-care summit that we're hosting, this week and the next couple of weeks, because the attendees at our conference, which is entirely virtual this year, are just that. There are corporates both on the retail side, the wholesale side, on the CPG side for both general merchandise and health, beauty, wellness categories. So it's really a nice fit, and really excited about having you guys and having some of your founders in with us today. Can you give us a quick overview of what we're going to hear today, some of the companies that will be participating?
Yeah, we've got a little bit of hardware. We've got a little bit of brain science. We've got a little bit of beverages, and then we've got some consumerization of healthcare. Would you like me to just kind of walk through the companies? Does that help?
Please, yeah. I think we've got 4 teed up today. So yeah. Give me
Okay, so first on the docket is Aduri, Aduri, and they're building, and they built a hardware platform, which sounds kind of strange, but really to make meditation more accessible and successful for the modern millennial and frankly, any demographic. The problem set is really simple. It's hard to meditate. I mean, it's kind of like an oxymoron, but the very act of meditation is hard to do, to quiet oneself and to be still and do the things you're supposed to do. So this platform actually drives that very nicely. And it's so interesting that Nike actually has come alongside them and said, hey, we'd like to give you some undiluted cash just so we can stay close to this category, because we think it's a really interesting category. And this is a tiny company. It's 2 people right now. It's small. But that's the point of it, is we're looking way out ahead, 5 years in some cases. And how do we facilitate next generation wellness? And that's a physical activity. Meditation is, you've got to physically do it. It's not just an ingestible or something.
Exactly.
Right. And so if you look at what Lululemon just did with Mirror, where here's a brand who's now moved into hardware or, kind of fitness, very interesting extensions, and no brand or retailer can ignore that kind of combination any longer. So we think Aduri is really well positioned for that next wave of integrated wellness.
Fantastic.
Good. The next one on the docket is Formula. So Formula is brain supplements as vitamin supplements for the body, brain supplements for the brain. And why don't we think about it that way? Like, we take vitamins to make our body better. Why aren't we taking vitamins in effect or supplements to help wire our brain better? And one of the things that we've seen is just an over medication using ADD and other prescriptives to try to provide focus or clarity, or in some cases, other changes in your behavior or mood that can really be driven by more natural ingredients. This is a very successful company. They've used a lot of data science to kind of pull together profiles for the consumer so that you're profiling the kind of mix of supplements that you're supposed to get and reduce the kind of variability. And again, this is a macro trend. Tim Ferriss, the 4-hour work week, the guy who said, you only have to work 4 hours a day, is a huge fan and believes that the engineering of your brain is one of the next open white spaces out there. So again, way out there, it's not this kind of thing that, you're going to find on the shelves in a traditional, a store right yet, but it's coming, and it's coming fast. And their business has just skyrocketed with this year. In the midst of COVID, you'd think, okay, people are battened down, they don't have the money. But in fact, it's been quite the opposite. Their business has gone from it's grown 100-fold in less than 6 months. So it's crazy numbers. The next one's Myowell, and this one's a real fascinating company. We are not beverage experts. I'm not in the beverage space by kind of like as a category definition, but this one is really special, and that's because the world of prebiotics has been, well developed, and now you got prebiotic supplements and all kinds of focus on it. But I don't know if most people realize, in nature, you need a prebiotic to make the probiotic work. And so bananas are a great proxy for prebiotics in the natural world. You eat certain foods in order to get other things to work in your digestive system. And so your microbiome, which we're super interested in, obviously, and always looking for the next innovation, we found this company that actually extracts the prebiotic from agave with a utility patent. It's a US utility patent to do this extraction. So it's a natural extraction process, and then produces this prebiotic water that has 19% of your dietary fiber, only 5 grams of sugar, and is shelf stable.
Wow.
when you look at this kind of power pack, and it's like shelf stable, as you know, is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And it's an amazing product. It's in lots of, kind of the Southwest and LA markets right now, very quiet, building a following. And I just believe in, I just look at the probiotic space and I look at the prebiotic space, and that's next, right? So I don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that this is going to be the next wave. And super, super jazzed about it. It's a great company, great product. I love it.
Sounds exciting.
And the last but not least is in the consumerization of healthcare. And so in the blood space, everyone knows Theranos and goes, no, we don't want any like Theranos. That's just poppycock. And I would say that pre-COVID, this company was going to struggle, even though we were huge fans of it. And that is, they can test for your hemoglobin level, i.e. your anemic level, by taking a photograph of your thumbnail or your fingernail. So it turns out a hematologist will tell you that you can actually inspect someone's fingernail and to identify the anemic level, but it takes a doctor today. Okay. So fast forward, one of our investors is a hematologist, and initially she poo-pooed the idea. She's like, I don't know why you're doing this. This is like, we have doctor's visits all the time. It's not a big deal. And then in the middle of COVID, she calls me up and says, did you invest in that company? This is going to be a brain, this is a game changer for us, right? So you don't have to go to a doctor's visit. Well, it turns out the same kind of inspection, it's a very simple inspection device, is equally useful for platelet for cancer patients. So the idea is that when you go to your chemotherapy, you have to have your blood analyzed for platelet levels in order to take your chemotherapy next shot. Guess what? This will do it from your home. You don't have to drive to a doctor's office, sit there and wait, realize that you don't have enough, and then go home, right? And the other area, it's got a huge following right now, and the pharma companies are stepping in big time in interest in the company, is they're using for kidney dialysis and kidney disease and any sort of the blood-oriented diseases whereby managing your blood levels and understanding where your counts are critical for the well-being of the consumer. So by putting this in the hands of the consumer, you're essentially taking some of this diagnostics work that really is tedious work from a doctor's standpoint and delivering it in the home, right, at far less cost, far, far less cost than having your anemic levels tested in a lab. So we're super excited. This is we have 4 or 5 investments in this category of consumerization of healthcare, and believe we're just scratching the surface.
And that is Sanguina. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Sanguina, that's correct.
That is fantastic. All this is very exciting, and I think we're going to learn a lot today, and I'm excited about these companies coming in and presenting to us. So I think we're ready to get after it. Should we kick it off with a Dury?
Let's do it.
Let's get after it. Thanks, Pano.
Thank you, Patrick.
Hey everyone, I'm Jaisal. I'm the founder and CEO of Adori. We design connected products to improve rest, recovery, and mental performance. We launched Adori to help aspiring meditators tap into the long-term benefits of a consistent practice. These benefits include all the good stuff, like improved productivity, deeper sleep, lower stress, benefits that I didn't know that I needed. You see, 9 years ago, I suffered from a terrifying anxiety attack where I collapsed on my apartment floor 9 years ago. This wasn't ideal, but it led me down the path to find meditation, a practice that has totally changed my life. And I know I'm not the only one, which is why this is such a massive opportunity for all of us. One, stress and anxiety are pushing more and more people, millions of people, more than in any other time in our history, to take up meditation. The number of people who do meditate has tripled in the last 5 years alone. Two, the first place where most people start are meditation apps. That's where I started. But I stopped using it after just a couple of days because they just weren't engaging enough and my anxiety came back. I was one of the 85% of people that stopped using these apps after only a couple of days. Now, these apps are great at providing access, but they're not necessarily great at providing outcomes for a vast majority of people. And knowing all of these factors, it shows an even massive opportunity in the greater wellness industry. Now, wellness is the only area in industry where consumers are willing to spend more for a better product. Healthy doesn't mean not sick. It means a daily active pursuit of holistic wellness, and it shows. Meditation surge is following in the same footsteps as the $80 billion yoga industry and the $27 billion digital fitness industry, which is projected to grow 33% in just 2 years. We're uniquely positioned to capitalize on all of these tailwinds. and to build this superior product in the meditation space. Now, our solution delivers these benefits to aspiring meditators from the comfort of their own home. Meet Adori, a connected meditation system that keeps people practicing longer. Our system consists of what I love to call the 3 C's: cushion, content, and community. Our cushion provides gentle haptic vibrations that guides breathing and focus. We pair that with all sorts of original content found on our app: guided meditations, music, and soundscapes. On top of that, a community layer ties everything together so you can sync your cushions virtually so you can practice with your friends and family from around the world. Now, our magic lies in that, the ability to connect users. Imagine meditating with your coworkers on Wednesday mornings before your weekly stand-ups, or a daily practice with your romantic partner that lives in California. When we practice together, we stick to our habits more, much like a gym buddy. When the economy begins to open up, we can even imagine in-person synced cushion experiences in boutique fitness studios, corporate wellness centers, or even hotel groups around the world. And it doesn't stop there. We're working on technology that also monitors your biometrics so that we can sync the cushion's vibrations to your breathing and make an experience and a level of engagement that has not been seen in this space. The power of these connections are undeniable in building a consistent, engaged practice. And these users want more. In fact, we've had over 800,000 minutes that have been meditated across our systems, and people have called the experience sensational, helping them wanting to stay focused, and most importantly, making them want to meditate. Now, our business model is very straightforward: a hardware sale with the content subscription. User purchases the cushion. We include 1 month of subscription for free. Not only in this model is this model optimized for a higher LTV, but having a monthly subscription helps reinforce and incentivizes users to build a more sustainable habit. Our efforts and positive product reception was noticed by one of the largest sportswear companies on the planet. And we both collectively agree that hardware unlocks promising, scalable unit economics. So much so that they voted with their wallets and provided an investment from their venture accelerator. And this helps build an unreplicable moat around our company and gives us unique access to their retail and research teams. Now, today's meditations options are largely undifferentiated, leading to unsatisfied users to hop from app to app to app. And we know hardware and software models are far superior at driving more user retention than software-only solutions. But we go a few steps further, like with the biometric integrations that I mentioned before, and the ability for these users to create very micro, intimate, group-based sessions around their practice. We bring these elements together in a very beautiful, organic way that becomes a fixture in your bedroom, in your home, and we're really in a league of our own. Now, our team has over 50 years of combined experience in meditation content development, mobile product, industrial design, and manufacturing. My background is in mobile product management, multimedia content, as well as innovation consulting, where I've worked with companies like Volvo, Nike, and Pfizer to develop new products. Rita is our head of mindfulness and strategy, is a meditation and yoga teacher that has taught at some of the best studios in New York City, like Equinox and SkyTing. In a previous life, for 5 years, she managed global structured finance at Citibank. Our content team is a diverse set of meditation teachers, mindset coaches, neuroscientists, and sound designers. And our experienced hardware team comes from companies like Karam Rashid, West Elm, MakerBot, and more. We're so excited for the next chapter in Aduri's life. And with your help, Aduri will become the future in helping users bring mindfulness home wherever they are in the world. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm the co-founder of the world's first personalized nootropics brand, Formula. It was 5 years ago, and I was the head of operations at a startup here in New York. I was failing miserably. I had this 50-item to-do list that never seemed to get done. I was handing in projects late, sometimes not at all. In complete desperation, I called a friend, serial entrepreneur, who came in to look at what it was that we were doing. And he told me it wasn't our strategy that was wrong, But the fact was, I couldn't focus long enough to complete any one task. And he gave me my first nootropic. And that day, everything changed. And the reality is, I wasn't alone. We're in the midst of an attention epidemic, only exacerbated by work from home culture. We no longer have the ability to go into an office where bosses and coworkers are compelling us to be productive. Now we have our full-time job, we're full-time parents, we're full-time chefs, we're full-time teachers, all while the TV is on all day and we're guiltlessly scrolling Instagram. Now more than ever, we need help being productive. This focus and energy problem is already a $50 billion industry. And despite side effects like the jitters and crash you get from too much coffee and energy drinks, and the addiction or neurotoxicity that you get from the overprescription of ADHD medications like Adderall and Ritalin, what we have found is that the wellness consumer is demanding a safer alternative. So for the sake of this conversation, let's define nootropics as nutrients clinically proven to enhance cognitive abilities. We're talking things like attention span, focus, energy, memory, creativity. Nootropics are safe and their effects are measurable. Nootropics is already a real industry, $2.5 billion, growing 12.5% a year. But for us, the most exciting part is that no brand has emerged as the clear leader. And this is a category completely up for grabs. But there's a problem with nootropics. Because there's so many variations in brain chemistry, everyone needs different nootropics and in different dosages. What works for one person won't necessarily work for another. In order for nootropics to work at scale, they need to be personalized. Thus, we started Formula, the world's first personalized nootropics brand. And we do so by leveraging the world's largest data set on nootropics. So prior to launch, led by scientists from Yale, Penn, and MIT, we conducted what is now the largest trial ever done on nootropics. We used a 4-way crossover methodology to test over 100 ingredients with 2,500 participants. We logged which nutrients worked best, which didn't, which had side effects, in which dosages, and which activities were correlated to each. So that now someone can arrive on our site, take a 3-minute survey, and our algorithm finds everybody in the population most similar to them and recommends the 4 combinations that have the highest likelihood of working for their brain chemistry. During their first month, they're able to test all 4 variations and work directly with our team to optimize that for future shipments. There's 2 insights that make Formula different. During our research, we learned that depending on which activities you have going on each day, you're going to need a different part of your brain to fire. And thus, you're going to need different nootropic combinations. For example, on days where you're running around to a bunch of meetings, or you have 6 Zoom calls, you're going to need a different part of your brain to fire than on days you're sitting in front of a spreadsheet doing work that you normally find boring, which is different than days where you're doing creative work like editing or writing. Second, for many of our customers, they're trying nootropics for the first time, and honestly, they can be scary. So we assign every user a brain coach, an expert, someone they can call, text, email as many times as they want, and really help them through those beginning stages. How to use their nootropics, what happens if you have a side effect, how to measure your results, and eventually, how to iterate and optimize your box for future shipments. So we started the company 3 years ago, 2 years of R&D, and it was about a year ago that we really started taking off. Thus far in 2020, we've done over $1 million in revenue, growing 24% per month, and we expect to do an additional $1 million by the end of the year. In September, we did nearly $250,000. In the supplement industry, margins are notoriously favorable. What's challenging is retention, which is why we are so proud of the progress we've made and continue to make to improve on that end of the business. We've already served 9,000 customers, and a lot of the effort that we've made on the retention side has led directly to this favorable 5-to-1 CLTV to CAC ratio. Since COVID hit, we've completely rebuilt our supply chain here in the US. We've reduced COGS by 34% with an additional 20% reduction expected in the next 6 months. We're currently profitable, and we're able to fund growth and inventory from those profits. We're excited to start our next fundraise at the beginning of 2021 And between now and then, connect with anyone who wants to meet us, learn more about Formula, or even participate in that upcoming round. Feel free to email me directly. My email is right here. And I look forward to meeting you.
Hi, my name is Oliver Shuttlesworth, and I'm the founder and CEO of MyWell. We make delicious, bubbly prebiotic tonics with organic, hand-harvested agave. Our name is inspired by the goddess of the agave, Mayahuel. Together with my co-founder and COO, Vicente Reyes, who's a native Oaxacan, we wanted to pay tribute to this important figure in Mexican folklore. She's a symbol of life and vitality and represents all that we strive to achieve with our beverages at MyWell. So what makes us unique? First and foremost, we're proven. Our proprietary active ingredient, which we now call active agave, is the result of more than 6 years of research by Vicente and a team of leading scientists and researchers in Mexico. It's been shown to retain up to 60% of healthy gut bacteria, and we count one of the world's leading agave researchers, Dr. Mercedes Lopez, as one of our key advisors. We're also for you, though. We know that it's not always easy to be healthy. And so we've developed products that are delicious and refreshing and offer an exciting change of pace to customers looking to improve their health and wellness. Beyond that, we're sustainable. We source our agave from strategic partners in Mexico where we're able to contribute to the local landscape. In fact, my co-founder Vicente has developed a program that he calls Hermano Maguey. This program helps to provide opportunities for workers and indigenous communities in Oaxaca to commercialize their crops, to reforest their lands, and even using the fibers of the agave provides opportunities to women in the communities that they can weave into textiles. So let's talk a little bit about our products. We know at MyWell that it's all about that good gut feeling. Key to that is prebiotic fiber. But unfortunately, 95% of American customers do not consume enough fiber on a day-to-day basis. This is what's referred to as a nationwide fiber gap. So again, Vicente and myself came at this with the approach of providing customers an opportunity to absorb that fiber on a daily basis in a refreshing and delicious format. Prebiotics are key to a healthy and flourishing gut. If you're unfamiliar with prebiotics, you can think about them as water that helps to grow the quote-unquote seeds of probiotics in your microbiome. This has a huge outsized impact on your overall health and wellness, and it improves everything from your digestion to bolstering your immune system and also improving your cognitive function. We wanted to create products that are ready for today's marketplace. They're non-GMO, they're made with organic, hand-harvested agave, and we like to try to provide customers the clean label product that they can be proud to consume. So far, we've gotten incredible feedback from our customer base. The biggest thing that we've seen is the impact that it makes on people's health and wellness, particularly with regards to their digestion and their immune systems. But we've also seen customers gravitate to the great taste of the products themselves. Beyond that, the fact that they're multi-occasion, meaning that they can be used for everything from post-workout beverages to mealtime beverages, and even with use as a mocktail or cocktail mixer. They're high in fiber, low in sugar, and delicious. So where we sit currently in stores are really next to other leading pioneers in the prebiotic landscape, Olipop and Poppi, which more and more consumers are familiar with. But we also like to sit next to kombuchas, herbal tonics, and functional beverages. So far, what we've seen play out is that the strawberry ginger hibiscus flavor is far and away our best seller, followed by pineapple mango turmeric and pear lime green tea. So far, we've received some incredible traction. We are working with leading retailers from Whole Foods to Central Market to Erewhon in Los Angeles, with huge plans for expansion in the new year. It's been a weird year with the pandemic, but we're now in over 200 retailers with plans to scale into almost 1,000 doors by next year. Looking at conversations with Wegmans, Bristol Farms, H-E-B, and Kroger, among others. Our primary focus this year has been in Austin, in New York, and in LA, We're excited to scale the brand nationally next year. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to connecting in the future.
Hello, everyone. I'm Erica. I founded Sanguina to empower people by creating simple tools that people can use at home to learn information about their health and wellness. At Sanguina, we like to say, it's your health, own it. Today, I'm happy to talk to you about our first product offering, an anemia management toolset. I'd like you to meet Beth. Beth, like many of us, including myself, feel tired a lot of the time. She feels so tired that she feels dizzy, and she has a very busy schedule. So she's not really in the place to talk to a doctor about how tired she feels all the time, and she's certainly not in a position to go visit a doctor frequently about this. Like many of us, she tries to eat healthy, stay fit, and sleep well, but oftentimes she finds nothing seems to help. Beth is anemic. What this means is that she has low hemoglobin levels, often caused by low iron. And no matter how many cups of coffee she drinks, she will continue to feel tired until she fixes the problem. Anemia can cause huge issues with your mood, your physical performance, but can even cause lower quality of life over time and decrease productivity in work. And the real issue here is that anemia is only screened for in clinic or hospital via an invasive venous blood draw. So tracking anemia and hemoglobin levels hasn't been something that people can just do, because it involves calling a doctor, making an appointment, waiting a couple weeks until there's a slot open, and then your symptoms might be resolved. Until now. This is where Sanguina comes in, and where I was motivated to solve the problem for Beth and other people experiencing anemia like myself. Today, I'm going to talk to you about AnemoCheck. Our first product is called AnemoCheck Mobile and is the world's first non-invasive smartphone application for hemoglobin checking in the comfort of your own home. Simply put, a user captures an image of their nail beds and the result appears on screen instantly. So a user downloads our app, is instructed on how to take a good picture of their nail beds, and then the result appears on screen. The app can also track hemoglobin levels over time, indicating improvement or progression of anemia. It's that simple. 1, 2, 3. But we didn't just create this device for people that have chronic anemia or have had anemia in the past. Anemia affects many different people for different reasons. It often coexists with different illnesses, but can also be a marker for how well you are. That said, we believe hemoglobin level could be the next vital sign. Very similar to pulse, blood pressure, or step counting. The real problem we had in the past was that hemoglobin level was only screened for via a blood test in a doctor's office or in a hospital or in a clinic. But now, with the potential of our technologies to be used at home, we have the potential to position hemoglobin level as the next vital sign that you can check on whenever, wherever, to inform how you are doing. That said, hemoglobin level has the potential to become part of people's routine. To start, Sanguina will focus on the 10 million Americans with recurring chronic anemia, often due to iron deficiency, like Beth and myself. But we plan to rapidly expand to others experiencing anemia. We have vegans, vegetarians, athletes, people that are changing diet. We also have people that are undergoing chemotherapy. And then there are certain age groups that are at higher risk for anemia, such as children, women going through menstruation, and the elderly. All that said, because of the nature of our first product, AnemoCheck Mobile, being a smartphone app with no additional tools, we also have the potential to work with 1.6 billion people that are anemic each year worldwide. In these settings that are often low resource, smartphone apps are the perfect tool in that many people have smartphone apps and there's no additional tools needed. It's as simple as downloading and using our app. So we have big dreams for Sanguina and for hemoglobin level and anemia management on the global scale. I'm fortunate enough to work with a multidisciplinary team of engineers, clinicians, and marketing expertise. Recently, we partnered with XRC Labs and the Seed Lab to inject additional strategic involvement with our company. Together, we've built our platform from the ground up, and this is only one tool in a portfolio of many things in our pipeline we plan to launch for health and wellness. Stay tuned for more information on those. Today for this group, I'd like to present that we are going to be offering our NemoCheck Mobile on the app stores in mid-November of this year. It's our first announcement, so we're very excited to be presenting it to this group. And we'd also like to extend early access to all of you listening in today. Simply contact us on our website at sanguina.com and mention GMDC Day for early and exclusive access. We're so excited to get started with you. To close, I'd like to reiterate that we founded this company to enable people to have more information about their health and wellness. A NemoCheck Mobile is only our first step. We have many things to come in the future. But it's about time we take ownership of our health. Thank you so much. Take care.
Hannah, those presentations were outstanding, and the curation of these ideas and the innovators who came up with them was just fantastic. So, just credit to you and your team at XRC for introducing us to these companies. There's a real need for innovation in every business, but in our channels and retail and CPG, I think it's incumbent on everybody to think about how do they connect to it.
Well, thanks, Patrick. It's been a great honor to work with you all. I mean, the GMDC is a real leader in this category, and we're happy that everyone's aligned to the interests of the consumer.
Well, I think to the extent that we think about the innovation imperative, right, that we've got to continue to look ahead to try and see around corners. We'd love to continue this conversation with XRC, and as you continue to build out your cohorts with these innovators, how do we continue to showcase them? How do we create a startup showcase? And, can we host more events together in the future where we bring in the industry and the membership to expose them to the great work that you and your team and these innovators are doing around really trying to positively inform and transform our lives? We'd love to continue.
Well, we love it because it's about collaboration, and, rising tide lifts all boats. And this is not a zero-sum game. We really do invite the participation of great organizations like yours, because you can really network a far, larger group of corporations and entrepreneurs into this mix quickly. And it's about getting a lot of ideas into the wild. As I said, we take no credit for anything here, because we're just seeing things that people have already thought about and said, wow, that's an amazing new way of thinking about it. And I just think that anything that's normal is going to be abnormal. And we've seen this happen already with COVID, that you just can't expect anything anymore to be the same. And that doesn't mean you live in a state of paranoia. It just means you live in a state of anticipation, right? And we're super excited about all the stuff that's coming down the pike.
That's fantastic. Tell me, for our members that want to learn more, how do they find you guys and get a hold of XRC?
Oh, sure. So my email is easy. It's piano without the I, @xrclabs.com. And we're happy to engage and chat and just, create a relationship. I mean, this is about everyone benefiting. So we're really excited that you've got this incredible mandate from your organization and your membership to bring this innovation forward. And we're happy to be part of that solution.
Fantastic. And website, xrclabs.com?
Yeah, www.xrclabs.com. We have about 79 companies listed on there, and a wide range. I won't bore you with all the details, but happy to help.
Thank you for making time for us today for this Retail Tomorrow Learning Track, for the great startups you curated for us today and the great presentations they've provided to us. We really appreciate it, Pano. It's great to see you, and I look forward to continuing the conversation.
Great to see you, Patrick, and thank you, and thank your members.
Thank you.